telling them nothing happened haphazardly.
Of course.
In ancient Egypt, it was not like Malaysia, it was not like never mind. No, 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 no.
Everything was planned very intricately.
Do you remember when you looked at the facade of the temple, where the 4 huge colossal, stuff? Those colossi, 3 of them exist, the 4th is destroyed. But that was destroyed in the ancient times as well.
Why? How it was destroyed?
It was actually, they said it was an earth movement. And that's why it was never restored, because a part of the head only exists in front of the pedestal of the statue. But I would like people, when they look once again at the facade, to notice something that people don't notice. You know what? The small statues beside the legs and between the legs of the king. Who are they? I mean, we know about the big guy. The big guy is Ramesses. But what about those small characters? On the facade of the temple, Ramesses decides to put, do you remember, I don't know how old are you girls, but in the past, in feasts, our parents used to take us, and they used to take the feast picture, the feast photo, where the family is going together at the studio, and we will take a picture and we'll put it at home on the walls, and that will be the feast picture. We will wear our swankiest outfits.
Some people still do that, like in the holidays. Even nowadays, during Christmas, for example, the family gathers and they take pictures.
They would take pictures, but it was like we were kids and we were wearing suits and bow ties and everything, and we go and we stand like that. It was excellent. That is exactly the same idea of Ramesses. He's putting his family with him. 3 statues of what you see when you look at the facade is for his beloved wife, Nefertiri, not Nefertari. There is no A in the name of this lady. We are pronouncing her name wrongly.
Oh.
There is no Ari. There is no Nefertari.
Actually, Mr. Bessam, we are mentioning all the names wrong now.
We are correcting stuff. So Nefertiri. Because if you say Nefertari, it doesn't mean anything. Nefert is beautiful lady, the feminine. The T is here for femininity. Nefer is beautiful. So Nefert, that's a word.
Not Tari.
Iri. So Nefert, and stop and make a pose. Nefert, the beautiful lady, the beautiful feminine. And then Iri. And Iri is the exaggeration of Nefert. So she is the most beautiful of them all.
Very beautiful.
She's the very, very, very beautiful. She's the most beautiful of them all. This is exactly the same name that you give the ladies in the villages today. We have girls named Halawithom. وحلاوتهم in Arabic means the most sweetest, the most beautiful of them all. Isn't that the truth?
Yes.
Oh yes, we still give this name, and that's history, guys.
Quite different though than Nefertiri, but
as a matter of fact, Nefertiri exactly means halawithom. And the reason for that is that I'm trying to tell you here that history in this country never dies. History repeats itself every single minute. Also, he mentions his mother. He puts his mother in the statues, in the facade of the temple.
It's very interesting that women have a very strong role in ancient Egypt. Like the mothers and the wives especially also the wives.
The wives as well.
They were very much recognized in ancient Egypt and very respected.
Very highly respected. Well said. A message to all men of
nowadays,
the Arab Republic of Egypt.
Please do.
Please listen.
Ramesses II, in the facade of his amazing temple, mentions his wife, or actually ordered the carving of the statues of his wife 3 times. So he repeats Nefertiri 3 statues. His mother 2 statues. Now I don't know about that.
Good message, Mr. Bessam.
I'm not sure.
We're not trying to.
I would rather do the opposite, but we are cool here.
We're trying to say.
I'd like to ask you something. Ramesses II did have other wives than Nefertiri. Why did she has the only temple with him? She was the only one clear in the temple.
And let me add to this amazing piece of info.
Special about his relation with
let me add to this amazing piece of info is that he is one of 2 kings all through our history who ordered the carving of a temple for his wife.
Why?
Amenhotep III ordered for Queen T in Nubia and Ramesses in Abu Simbel. Carving. In ancient Egypt, we have something called the principal wife. So your husband will be married to I don't know how many,
You are the main.
He's got his harem, but you are the main one. You are the principal one. You are the one who's going to be depicted in the temples and the tombs.
You're the one that goes to the parties and
exactly.
all the fun.
You are the cool guy. And amazingly enough, he was married to 13.
Wow.
In one of the studies it was mentioned. And he brought 48 daughters and 52 sons.
Wow.
So we're talking 100. There is another message to the Egyptians.
No, we don't want to deliver this message,
Wow.
Mr. Bessam.
No, I mean, don't do this.
Yeah,
That's the message. What were you thinking?
Yeah.
Okay. So here is very important business we're talking about here. This is a family man. He's definitely a family man with that number.
Very big family man.
Yeah. But he also mentions his daughters. We have a beautiful, cute daughter of his called Bint Annat. And Bint is a hieroglyphic word. Bint is a noun. But let me tell you once again about this business of when they moved the temples. 330,000 tons of stone was cut in 1 year. Started in 1965, the cutting, and it ended in 1966. It took 4.5 years to finish the whole amazing engineering, amazing feat of engineering of moving the temple 64 meters above its original level. You don't see it today. You don't see the original place of the temple because covered in the water of the Nasser Lake. 19 monuments were saved. 19, 19. But the rest, unfortunately, is under the water today.
Do we know how long it took to actually carve out this temple back in ancient Egypt?
Oh yes, because you know those guys would document the day of the summer, the day of the winter, and so on. Interestingly enough, we would notice an amazing thing happening in the movement that it cost $40 million in the 60s of last century. That's an amazing astronomical figure.
Wow.
And it took, this is the temple of 40 countries, 40 million, 4 statues on the facade, 4 statues inside the sanctuary holy of holies. 4.5 years it took to move. They moved it 64 meters above its original level. Amazing force. Interesting. And finally, I will tell you a scene that we cannot pass Abu Simbel without mentioning in the temple of his wife, not in his temple, in the temple of his wife. A scene of the king in the middle of 2 deities. Those 2 deities are the deity of good and, look here, very quickly, right there. Very important scene that is. That's in Nefertiti's temple, not in the main one, in the second one. This is Ramesses. The crown right over his head. Normal and classic, nothing is amazingly unique about that. Yeah. But this is what's unique. Horus the falcon with his nemesis Set. Those guys are enemies. This guy, Set, killed this guy's father. This guy is the avenger. He avenges. He actually is avenging the father's killing by trying to kill this guy. How come the 2 enemies?
It seems like he is trying to act as the justice
There you go.
symbol.
Thank you.
Mr. Bessam الشماع, always a pleasure to listen to your very unique
I still have so many questions.
Yeah,
we
and
really
of
have
course
to
we'll continue our questions in the next episode. But now it's time for some light news from around the globe with Nahla.